are here with 86-kilogram Olympian Aaron Brooks. Aaron, since your time from making the Olympic team to now, you had a brief period of time that was probably a little bit stressful. I watched your video where you talked a little bit about strange things happening.
Yeah.
What was it like dealing with the TUE and the USADA or WADA situation that you had to kind of navigate through? What was that like right after the trials?
Yeah, it was definitely testing. I know I had to be patient, allow for the truth to come out. I say a test mainly because I knew a lot of weird and odd backlash would come through, but it is what it is, and I think that was a test for me to just remember, be forgiving and wait on the Lord because the truth came out. And so I think just a little test, but nothing too detrimental, I'd say.
Yeah. What was, kind of going back to the trials, much was made about kind of the schedule and
Yeah.
particularly you're wrestling late the one night, you got to be up early to make weight. Were you frustrated at all with the schedule that you and other athletes had to go through to make the Olympic team?
Yeah, I think, like, in the mix of it, no, you just got to do what you got to do. So I'm always thinking positive, like, let's just go get the weight down. But when it's all said and done, I'm always thinking, well, how can we do things better? Even myself. But I think it could be, I think I was the last match at, like, 10 or 11, maybe.
Yeah.
So, and then I also didn't know I was wrestling in the morning. I thought both my matches were in the afternoon. So it's like 1 a.m., going on 2 a.m., and I'm losing weight. And Coach Casey's like, you wrestle in the morning as well. I'm like, didn't know that, but we do what we got to do, so.
Man, and what was that? You wrestled up at 197 for the collegiate season, coming back down to 189. How tough was that cut for you?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I definitely grew. So I know going into this season, like, I was actually a big 97. Like, especially in TAs, I was like, man, I was cutting weight for 97. Like, I was cutting a good bit of weight. So I was like, I can only imagine what 86 kilos is going to be like, but it worked out.
Yeah, it definitely did. Next question, just a lot of discussion with your weight class. It kind of boils down to you and Yazdani. That's how a lot of people view it.
Yeah.
How much have you thought about that matchup against the Olympic champion, world champion, someone you've seen David wrestle against throughout the years?
I think there's a lot of guys in that bracket, and I just try to work my style up against anything. But Hassan's tough, great opponent, worthy opponent, Olympic champ, world champ. So I think, just training going into it, but we'll see.
When you are training, how much are you thinking about specific opponents? For you knew to make the Olympic team you had to be David Taylor. He was sitting out. You knew you had. So obviously there's some element, but how much is it when you're going into a bracket like this?
Yeah, I think that's where you can't focus too much on one. Like, even at the Olympic trials, like, I had a lot of good guys in front of me, to where I couldn't just focus on one set guy. So even going to the Olympics, like with someone like Hassan, it's not really focusing on that specific wrestler, but like tactics that can kind of hit all target points. That makes sense. So
yes.
Like, whether it's my stance, where I'm placing my hands, like, I want something that can work on every single one of them, not just one. So that's kind of my mindset going in, making sure that I'm working my stuff to where anyone I wrestle, I can dismantle what they got. So
yeah. Did you learn from your weight cut at Olympic trials, and are you taking some learnings from that you're going to apply to Paris, or do you think it went really well actually?
Yeah, I think it went well. I just think that the truth of it is, man, like, I grew big time, and so doing my best. Me and my coach is working, but I think it went well. Obviously, when it comes to being up late, that has a factor too. But I just grew.
Yeah.
So,
when did you grow?
184 was really hard for me to make at nationals and Big Tens. Big Tens and nationals, 2023 was tough.
Really?
Like, really tough. And then after that, going into Vegas, it was still a little bit of a tough cut. But then Final X last year, I was like, man, and then I only got bigger after that. So, yeah.
How big do you think you could get?
My walk around in season and lately, like, usually is 213.
Okay.
So, so maybe 220.
Yeah.
If I'm lifting and stuff, but I don't lift. So
You don't lift?
I don't lift.
Explain that to me.
I don't
you look,
lift.
you look
Yeah.
like you look like someone who lifts.
Yeah,
I'll just put it
everyone
that
says
way.
that, but if you ask anyone close to me, they know I don't lift.
What do you do? Push-ups? What do you do? Bodyweight
Just
stuff?
wrestle.
Just wrestle.
Underhooks.
Underhooks.
That's how you get. Yeah, the back is just. You're constantly. People are resistant, so it's like, or even pressuring, snapping, all that stuff. Wrestling.
So for you in your training situation, you don't lift, but other guys do lift. Is it kind of just on a wrestler by wrestler basis who does that?
Yeah, I think it's up to you. What makes you feel good? And so I like to lift. Like in season, well, when I was on the college team, I'd lift when the team was lifting, and I didn't mind it. Like I liked it, but usually growing up, it was body weight stuff, circuits.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but I think just through wrestling you get strong, especially wrestling guys like Snyder, Greg. Like I'm straining a lot, so I'm building muscle.
What's it like wrestling with Greg Kurtfleet? He's got to have 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah, he's a tank. He's a tank, Greg.
Yeah. How excited are you for not just the wrestling, but just the Olympic process to be part of that?
It'd be pretty cool. I think when I'm there. Because just wrestling in America, we get a lot of big environments. Like even the NCAA tournament, like you look at that finals, it's crazy. So I think I'm excited to see the Olympic rings mainly. I think just something I haven't seen before. I've seen UWW, obviously USA Wrestling, NCAA. So a new little logo would be cool.
Yeah. What other wrestlers? What other matches are you maybe looking forward to outside of Yazdani at your weight class, 86?
Everyone. Like this is my first senior world team, an Olympic team, so like I haven't wrestled any of these guys honestly, except for Amin through the collegiate, but never in freestyle. So I'm looking forward to every matchup. I think it's cool, just because it's newer.
Yeah. Kind of the two top guys are both known for their underhook. What are maybe some similarities or differences in how you and Yazdani use your underhook?
I think they're very similar.
Really?
And that was one guy I was watching, like my first 2 years in college, and that's kind of why David took me. But I was watching that guy. I learned a lot from watching Hassan in the underhook. So I think they're very similar. Yeah, I think they're very similar, but different attacks maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, very similar how we get to it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So would you say that Hassan was someone you kind of almost modeled some of your game from?
Yeah.
What made you? How did you get the ability to watch and then kind of implement? Because I don't know if every wrestler has that.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. I watch it and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I want to work that. Two people I kind of was molding my style, and then you add your own flavor to it. But Sidikov and Yazdani, I love the way those two wrestle. So I'd watch their videos, watch their matches, and then I'm at practice and I'm working it, and then making it my own and that kind of stuff.
Outside step, something that with Sidikov and you use, and it's becoming more and more popular. What is it about outside step leg attacks that separate them from typical knee over toe penetration?
I think it's new. Well, it's not even new. It's not even new
Right.
because it's been around for so long. It's just so quick. It's hard to telegraph, I would say. And there's people who are really good at the traditional, what they call long step high crotch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a time and place for both. Like I think both are beautiful shots, but I think the split step just happens in the blink of an eye, and so it's really deceptive and quick, and it's a nice shot.
Another thing that I think separates you, obviously your underhook, your outside step, but defense, you often go near ankle, really traditionally. How long has that been a big part of your defensive toolkit?
I think just in college, just when I was really working on baseline, I just found it worked really good for me. Yeah, I like near ankle. Just feels good.
Really?
Feels right.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Who's going to be your training partners headed into Paris?
So I got Donovan Ball. So he was a guy I wrestled for Penn State, 184, all 4 or 5 years. He's come with me. So that's been my training partner my whole time at Penn State. And so he'll be out there, which is cool. And then I got my coaches, obviously. They still roll around. I got my teammates. So
Who's like your corner or whatever for the Olympics? Or is
either
that
Coach
not
Casey or
determined
Coach
yet?
Kale.
Okay.
Yeah, one or the other.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. a little bit of a transition at Nittany Lion with David, Jimmy, and Thomas. Like, what's it been like around Nittany Lion since those guys departed?
Yeah, it's been the room stays the same, which I think is cool. You know, because then right when they leave, you get new faces in. You know, so we got a young recruiting class that came in. Nick Lee's coaching. You know, so but things are always going to constantly change and evolve, and that's happened a lot. I mean, even we had great guys, great teammates like Chenzo to the program, like, you know, doing what's best for them. You know, so I think it's just a part of that process and moving forward. So, but the room's always a room, which I love.
Have you got to wrestle with any of the newer guys? Obviously, you wrestled against Connor Mirasola at the Olympic trials. Now, I presume he's there. Have you seen him? Got a chance to train with him?
I got to wrestle with Cole.
Okay. How was that?
It was good. Yeah, they're very developed at their age. You know, so it's really just going to come down to having fun, going out there, getting a system, and building that confidence for some best guys, which are already a head start at. So.
One question I'm asking all the Olympians, it's about coaching youth wrestling and developing those younger athletes. So kind of two parts. First question is, what do you view as the essential skills that you should teach a first-year wrestler? And conversely, what do you think are some of the pitfalls or mistakes that coaches use with young wrestlers?
Yeah, I think young wrestlers, one, keep it fun, but fundamentals, basics. I think that's like the base, you know, and so baseline, shots to both sides, shots with both hands, both sides of the body, being able to clear collar ties, those kind of things. I think then you build on that. Then it's like, I think where coaching goes wrong is, let's go a bunch of moves. Like, let me just show you and that can be good too, because then you can be diverse, but just kind of giving them a system, right? And putting them in, but before you have a system, you gotta have the base, and that's why I say fundamentals. You gotta have the base, the basics, and no matter where you're at in your career, you're gonna work those. You're gonna work those every day. And so I think having something to branch off of versus I got everything, but there's no root, you know, to grow that tree or that style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Question I asked Spencer, want to ask you, it's your first senior world team, Spencer's first. Do you think having the element of the unknown is going to be a benefit to you potentially against the field?
I think what the time we're in now, there's really no unknown. You know, I know guys are watching my NCAA, my U23s. So I think a while ago maybe, but in this day and age, I think like everyone knows how to go get some footage on somebody. You know, so.
With beating David Taylor and all the attention he drew from the Iranian fans, did you find yourself getting some of that, like, inundated with messages from the Iranian?
Yeah, they like every day.
What do they say? Do you know?
King Hassan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's mainly the main thing, King Hassan.
You like that?
So, but it's just funny. Yeah, it's like King Hassan, but that's their guy. So.
Do you appreciate that level of fandom that they have over there?
I do. I think and I love our fans too, but I think they have a heart for it. Like, and it's pretty cool to see because you don't really see that for wrestling in America because with the NFL, MLB, NBA, so like it's cool that that's their main sport, and it shows.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, I don't have any other questions for you. Do you have anything else before I let you go?
No, thanks, Christian. It's cool getting this interview in. You guys know wrestling, so I finally got to talk about it a little bit.
There you go. I appreciate your time, Aaron. Thank you.
Thanks.